Right, so this is my third video, is it? Third video. It's 2 in the morning. I don't think you can sort of make that out. Man, it's pretty nice actually. You know, it's odd staying up with this like when it's not something like New Year's or something, but this is quite nice. Now I kind of thought I'd talk about something like I want to discuss a lot of things, and one of the things that it was asked is what do you fear the most? And I think this is a good link because I am scared of heights. I'm gonna move the camera down a bit. I'm scared of heights. I'm scared of stuff like spiders and everything. But the one thing that scares me the most is in fact just the unknown of the end. Like just what happens when and I know it's quite a heavy-handed subject here, but what do you think actually happens when we die or something like that? Do you think there's a God? And I just think it's a really good link into the subject of like philosophy and religion, because for me, I'm agnostic personally, and it's a case of I have no problem with anyone believing any belief, whether you're Christian, Sikh, just Buddhist, Jedi, whatever. I really don't care. It's not that I don't care, it's just that what's the point? We're all humans on this planet, and we're a diverse culture. There's 6.5 billion of us, we might as well get along. And, I just think that it's interesting that there's always this cogent debate about religion and everything, and I just think it's kind of a shame. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if I heavy-handedly talked about, if I was actually genuinely religious, and so I was talking about someone heavy-handedly, that would be part of my culture. But, that's fine, and I don't have a problem with culture, I don't have a problem with religion at all, and, if you're religious, you are fine, okay? There is no religion in my mind that's actually wrong, supposedly, unless it's like someone says kill everyone. I don't like that religion, but if there is one, hopefully it's not. But no, I mean, I just think that there's no point in like sort of delving into it too much. Like, I can understand if you've been brought up to be religious, I can understand if it's how it is, but I just don't see it, like I said, it's like, what do you fear most? And I personally fear my death. I know it's really heavy-handed, but I think in the end, everyone probably does, until maybe the moment when it happens. I don't know. But for me, it's terrifying. Like, what if it's just nothing's there and it goes on and on and on and on and on forever? And this is quite sad for me because I am personally an optimist, and stuff like this always brings me down. But I think it's important that we actually tackle it like heavy-handedly, because there's no point, especially as we grow up. I mean, I'm 16. I'm mature enough to know that death is a very heavy-handed subject. We can't escape from it, and there is a sadness to that. But I just think that like death does give us a chance to embrace life, but does it give us also a chance to fear like life, like knowing that everything could go wrong? I mean, it really is an inherent risk, thinking about it too much, and like it can change who you are completely, and it's kind of depressing in that manner. But like, I'm sorry if this is like, if this actually gets into this film, I am absolutely sorry if I have completely ruined the mood. If it's a happy tone, I am so sorry. But we need to talk about this. This is life in a day, and part of life is death. And it's very important that we actually talk about that, because in the end, it's true that thousands of people will be born over the next 24 hours. But thousands of people will die as well. And, it's just equilibrium in a sense. There's a sort of equilibrium of life to it. And I just think it's important that we delve into it. And so, I personally want everyone to have a view on this, because it's just a case of, I think it's important that we all discuss and that we all kind of learn from each other's ideas. And I really think that, there are 6.5 billion of us, as I said, and it's just a case of, why do we have to be so, do we have to be kind of all silly about it, or can we actually find sort of meaning in it? And it's true that, there's all these religions saying, I know, if you do good, you get into heaven, and that, but life is a huge risk. And, what we need to understand is that sometimes, if by being good, you are wasting those vital, fun opportunities in life. And, because doing something risky is absolutely thrilling. You can get a thrill of things, and, so-called being a bit bad or edgy can have its own thrills, but there are hundreds of religions, I guess, some of that. There's definitely more than, because there are the big 5, but, you have all these, or big 7, or however many the big amount are, I don't know, but, everyone has different views, and actually, if anything, I think there are 6.5 billion different religions, because in the end, in my mind, a religion is someone's view on something, but I understand a legal religion is kind of a combination of at least 100,000 of the same typical views, but I imagine someone will have a slightly different interpretation to the next person. But it's just, what do you fear the most? Okay, I fear spiders. They're freaky. I don't like them. I fear heights. But it's not that I fear heights, it's that I fear the falling sensation of heights. I fear falling. And that's because, if anything, I'm a present hedonist. I look for pleasure, I avoid pain. And it's, and I'm not exactly an extreme hedonist. I'm not going to go for everything for pleasure or anything. I just try to avoid pain. And for me, I don't like heights. But it's not that I'm scared of the height itself. I'm scared of the fall. And in the end, that kind of relates to the fact that actually my fear goes to death. And my fear is the falling sensation, because that could inherently, in my eyes, sort of lead to an untimely death. And, it's a heavy-handed subject. And I don't know what film this is going to be. I don't know if it's going to be a light-hearted film. I don't know anything. I just know that, this is life in a day. But we need to understand that in a day there's death. In a day there's birth. In a day there's the creation of life. In a day there's just a normal life. In a day there's eccentric lives. There's wonderful lives. In a day there's 100,000 or so people using some cameras, going on YouTube and uploading a few videos on a little thing called Life in a Day. But in a day there's so much going on that equilibrium has to be somewhere. For every one thing that happens, something else has to happen in my eyes. And for every action, there has to be an equal and opposite reaction. And while maybe it's a bit different in the case of maybe life and death or something, there is that sort of kind of equilibrium there. And I really just want to know, what are your views? I think it's a really important thing to ask. Do you think death is... Do you think death is just the end of it, or do you think there's more to it? And it's amazing to see, do people think that life is just a stage? Do people think that life is just their life? Or do you think people think that life is just that timeline, and then once the timeline's gone, you've run out? And it's just an amazing thing to think of, and I really want to hear people's opinions on it. Next hour I'll do a light-hearted subject, but I just think it's important that we just ask, just go to the heavy-handed subjects first. So, what do you think? And if you are particularly religious, I hope I haven't offended you. Sorry if I have or anything like that. But I think it's important to get the heavy-handed subjects out of the way first, early, before I spend the whole rest of the day talking about nicer things. So, thank you and enjoy the rest of the show, I guess.